Good evening. Welcome to our final installment of Life at Charlie's Rainbow Ranch 2020. Tonight we are going to be seasoning our new Lodge 10 1/4 inch cast iron skillet. So first thing we got to do is we're going to take the tags out of it. We're going to wash it down with some soap and hot water just to make sure that we get all the germs out of there. Can't have any COVID-19 or any other stuff like that laying around, so we'll get started on that. And here we go. We're going to set the oven to 375 degrees and let that preheat while we're washing up the skillet. Okay. It really doesn't matter what kind of soap you use for this initial washing. This is more or less just to rinse it off, get it prepped from the store to home. I usually just use any sort of hand soap that you have laying around. Dial or anything else like that works. Yeah, make sure you're using hot water. This will be the only time that we use soap and water, unless you start to notice a lot of, I forget what it's called, but the black cruddy stuff on here, rancid, yeah. So if it gets rancid or rusted, you can always come back through with soap and water, but for the most part, we won't need to ever use soap on it after this initial washing. So got it all washed. Gonna get it to dry completely. To do so, I usually either wipe it down with a paper towel or throw it on the stove for a little bit and let it dry out that way. Now these Lodge ones say that they do come pre-seasoned. I do like to use my own seasoning on it though. Just use a little bit of coconut oil or olive oil. I have found that either one of those tastes really good with like steaks or shrimp. So I personally like the Bertolli extra virgin olive oil or any brand of coconut oil. Coconut has a higher burning point, so it's a little bit better to use that, and it gives it a bit of sweeter taste. So we'll let this finish drying off, and then we'll come back to season it. After we've got it all washed and dried, we'll go ahead and take it off the stovetop. Still got a little bit of moisture on the bottom, but that's all right. Just wipe that down with a paper towel here. There's a lot of different methods that people have said to do that with this. You can either season just the inside where you're going to be cooking, where the surface touches the food. Other sources have said to do the whole thing. I just like to do the whole thing to give it a nice even coat. Just looks a little bit nicer in my opinion. So for tonight we'll go ahead and use the Luana coconut oil, with us heating up the pan to dry it off after we washed it. That'll also allow a little bit of the coconut oil to melt onto it, creating a nice coat. So got a little bit on a paper towel here. We'll just go ahead and get to seasoning. Once you have a nice shiny coat like this, all the way around, you just pop it in the oven for about an hour on 375 degrees. Again, a lot of sources will say keep it face up, face down. I like to start with face down. So we'll just go ahead and pop it in and come back an hour later. Once we pull it out of the oven, you got yourself a nice and seasoned cast iron skillet. Once again, like and subscribe, and have a happy new year.